I could tell myself I'm better than the one who bowed their knees, then went astray. Well, the fact is I know me and who I am makes me unworthy of your grace. But I know you, and who you are is holy, who you are is mighty, everything that I could never be.
Morning, everybody.
Who you are is faithful, merciful and able, the righteous one that meets my every need. Who you are is great and worthy of all praise, with an empty grave to prove it all was true. I'm glad that you know me, but even more, Lord, I'm thankful I know you.
Isn't that good? Isn't that good, Guardians? And I know you. Glad that he knows me. Really glad that he knows me, but I'm glad that I know him.
Exactly.
That's good stuff.
It's a relationship, right?
It is a relationship. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Yet to be official. We don't get official till we do the sing-along a little bit after 8 o'clock. But,
Okay.
okay, so that's how that rolls. Very special guest going to be joining us here in just a moment. You met this gentleman, maybe many met this gentleman for the first time at our Springfield prayer breakfast. Can you believe that was a month ago?
No.
By the way, your first official.
I
mean, last Friday was a announcement thing.
Yeah, that was guest. This is work.
Where you get, yes, I guess officially, because we really hadn't started the show until Monday
right.
together. Rebecca Jeter in the house, yours truly, and together we are shining and rising.
It's been a good week.
Morning show. It has been. For a first week. Feels like fun times. And now your first official Friday live.
I'm excited.
With a guest. And I remember of the great things said of our guest at the Springfield prayer breakfast, the keynote speaker, retired Colonel Brad Lewis, Army chaplain, is just great words, great encouragement. And so I know you were excited when we talked about this on this weekend. So let's go ahead and invite the gentleman into the room and welcome to our Friday live experience. Let me get this flipped around here so we have the guest of honor. I got that, just did that different. We're going to switch that around so we have that gentleman in the right seat. Colonel Lewis, good morning to you. Thank you for being a part of this show this morning.
Good morning, Dave. Good morning, Rebecca. Thanks for having me here. This is great.
It's a delight. And we're going to go live on air now. We're going to go broadcast. And I guess the only thing I do is these buttons. I got to remember how to engineer Friday Live with a guest. Good morning, everybody. We have got a very special guest joining us on our Friday Live. We just turned on the television, so to speak. If you want to join us on YouTube or Facebook, you get to see this gentleman. Now, you may, if you went to the prayer breakfast, the Springfield prayer breakfast back on May the 7th, you've seen this man, and we're encouraged. Colonel, I've heard nothing but great things about what you had to share with us back during our prayer breakfast, and it's been a delight to have you on with Rebecca and I this morning.
Well, thanks, Dave. I really appreciate it. That's kind of humbling. I don't really think I'm much worth listening to, but that was a great experience and a lot bigger group than I thought it would be. But had some good contacts since then. I've had some folks contact me and been able to sit down and chat with a few guys, and it's just been really encouraging.
Well, it was our intent back when we're brand new hosts, by the way. KWFC and our sister station, The Wind, are our new host to that civic event, the prayer breakfast. And in this very special year, America 250, we thought it would be just appropriate to have a member of the military, if we could find such a one that would be an able communicator to share faith and help us just love the Lord through that lens. Your name surfaced, it came together, and I couldn't be happier with that experience. And it's been my intention since to get back with you and share something like this for people to get to know you a little bit better. And it seemed appropriate. Again, America 250, D-Day weekend. I know it's not the holiday, but it is certainly an important day. And when we talked about this a little bit ago, not just a big battle, not just a significant battle, but something you couch as world history.
Yeah. Well, I think it definitely was one of those moments in world history that it's sort of a pivot point. I mean, that's where it's a very large group of individuals from multiple nations came together and took on a common enemy that had some ideas about what they wanted out of the future, and we didn't want that future, and so we all came together and fought it. And so it just, to me, it's just one of those moments that is it's a watershed. It led us to where we are today, with all of our scratches and pimples on our society. It's overall, it has led us to a place of freedom, a place of where we can prosper, where we can worship and serve and do what we do, because of a bunch of people that were willing to go and fight the bad guys, if you will.
And you just don't often take time to just think about that sacrifice. And there's some families that they're missing.
Yep.
And they dearly, dearly love. One of the things, and Rebecca, you touched on this earlier, the conversation of the generations and every generation rising. You were taken with the Colonel's comments on, who is the greatest generation, that whole conversation.
Well, and you shared back at the prayer breakfast about, leaning in onto this generation and communicating and having to deliver really hard news.
Yeah.
And, in your role as a chaplain, and how God has just provided, you with a spirit of, okay, here we are. This is the reality. And you've got such a servant's heart. And then you've got those really challenging days. Take us to a challenging day and let us know what it's like to be in that super tough situation.
So, let me go back to what I said earlier, that without denigrating or taking anything away from the folks that fought World War II, I truly believe that the generation that I was fortunate enough to fight with, these are in fact, probably these are guys that are a generation or two after me. I'm a late boomer, early Gen X guy. And some of the guys that I fought with much younger than me, but I was able to just come along and watch them and kind of be a part of it. And honestly, I these are guys that I would call the greatest generation. If I could steal that title, I don't want to take it. I don't have anything better, but they are a generation of guys that they didn't deploy and fight and stay gone from their families for 2 years. Rather, they went back over the course of 25 years, a quarter century. They kept going back and added up 2, 3, 4 years of time downrange away from their families, fighting for what they believed to be the right thing. And they're just an absolutely astounding group of men and women. And over the course of that, of course, we ran into a lot of situations and events that were difficult, to be sure. Probably one of the hardest things that I ever had to do as a chaplain was a death notification. So we, if you've ever seen the movie We Were Soldiers, and you remember they would send telegrams to the families to tell them that their loved one had been killed in action. And after that, the government sort of got things right. The Army figured it out and said, "Hey, we can't do this. We gotta send someone to give this news." Well, that is a logistics nightmare, doing it for the number of people that they had in Vietnam. We didn't have nearly that number, thank the Lord, in the global war on terror, but we certainly had our share. And so, with every time you had the family had to be notified, you would send an officer of equal or greater rank to the deceased, and a chaplain. And so on multiple occasions, I and my fellow chaplains, we would accompany that officer to go and give the news. And, to show up in somebody's house or office, I had to show up at work a couple of times. It was just horrific. and walk in uniform, and they see here's an officer and a chaplain. That they're just,
Right.
you don't have to say anything, but you have to say what you're supposed to say, at least the notification officer. And then I would follow up and just kind of try to be there and help them out. I remember we had, you may remember, what was it? The movie with Mark Wahlberg where the guys were shot down. He was a lone survivor.
Yeah.
So the guys that were in that helicopter, there were 8 crew members that were in that helicopter, in addition to the SEALs that were in there that were shot down. 8 of those, I was their chaplain, and so I had to do the notifications for a couple of those, and we coordinated with other chaplains to take care of some of them, because I can't be in 8 places at once, but we wanted to deliver that news all at once. And so my commander and I, we flew to a different state to go find the family of this one of the soldiers, and we had to deliver the news. And when that was done, we showed up at their house. The commander said what he was supposed to say. It's kind of a scripted thing, because you don't want to mess that up. Then he said, "Chaplain, I'm going to go. You stay here with the family. This is a family I don't even know, and here I am at their house for the next 2 days, just kind of trying to console and be help them." And I mean, what do? You hold their hand, you cry with them, you pray with them, and those were terrible moments that just came with the job. But like you said, Rebecca, you just do it. You just sort of, you don't want to disengage emotionally or mentally, but you kind of have to a certain degree. And just sort of love on these people as best you can, given the circumstances. And then you ultimately leave, and sometimes you never see them again. Other times you see them at a funeral or at a memorial ceremony. And it's just part of the game. But I'll go back to something that I said to you guys earlier, and that is that while I had to do that and other things, it wasn't just that moment. As we're sitting here looking at 250 years of this great nation, it's been a long line, a continuum of events that I got to be a part of. I got to kind of be in the show for a bit, boy, it was just the greatest thrill of my life.
You're part of the story of a great nation.
Story, yes, great way.
Well, I'm learning something this morning. I had no idea the protocol on the notification, that responsibility of equal or greater rank. I didn't realize that till this very moment. We're having a conversation with retired Colonel Brad Lewis, Army chaplain, and we're going to come back and I want to get your thoughts on ways, because you would have a better pulse on ways we can pray for men and women serving today on our conversation here on this Friday Live. Go to Facebook and YouTube. Join us. That's good. I mean, I had, of all, like you're saying, one of the most loathsome responsibilities I could imagine.
There you are. I can't hear you.
We lost some kind of. I can hear you, but I can't see you. What happened there? I'm gonna take him from the stage while he's figuring that out. I think something happened with his camera. Because we are. Just keep me watching on that lower screen. Colonel, if you can still hear us, we cannot. We can hear you, but we cannot see you. Something happened with camera. I don't know what that would be. The audio connection's still going, so we're going to keep talking to you. Because we've got about 2 minutes left on this song. What I'd like for him just kind of help us understand the best ways for us to pray for those currently serving. As he touched on there, 250 years in this experiment.
Well, and he's lived what it's like to leave your family.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that we can do as we constantly, search for ways, but also loving our neighbor. How many of us know a military family that we can reach out to and support a spouse, support kids, show up for them. he really, I'm excited for him to share this, but he really bragged on his wife keeping traditions alive.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I love the thought of that, you know, that there's so much service still taking place at home.
Mm. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. We don't think about that aspect of it. We know the sacrifice. I mean, we know it, we don't remember it always. And
Yeah.
families that have experienced loss and those that or life-changing injury.
Mhm.
You know, you see the commercials of these
Oh, yeah.
services for vets that have suffered life-changing, transformative injuries. It's heartbreaking. So just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, you're asking, why are we doing this? Well, we're on the heels of Memorial Day. We're on the approach of D-Day weekend,
Mhm.
which to me has always been, I don't know why, I've always been just so very, D-Day always seemed to me almost like a Pearl Harbor, but even greater, the number of lives lost and willingly. We were surprised attacked in Pearl Harbor. We went with determination into D-Day. And I've always just thought that to be one of the bravest days, these guys approaching the beach and knowing that they were going to a good chance of getting hurt or even killed.
Yeah.
So in any case, I thought it was an appropriate thing. We hope to get reconnected here with the Colonel. I'm gonna see if we can at least get some audio here. Colonel, can you hear us? Okay.
I can. It dropped down, but I can still hear you.
Okay. We lost video. And so what I'd like to do here in about 15 seconds is come back, at least catch you on audio for our radio people.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not great TV, but it's still good radio, and get your thoughts on how we can best pray for and help men and women serving today. And then
Okay.
Get your thoughts on that as we go to break. And we've got about 27 seconds.
Okay.
And I'm sorry for whatever that difficulty is. I don't know what happened. Something snapped and away went your picture. We get the video, but we don't get the pretty face.
I can still see me, and I can kind of hear you. I've got video. I can see all three of us, but your audio just went way down, and I don't know why.
Interesting. I'm gonna put him back in here so we can get that audio. Let's go. Let's just take up the conversation.
Okay.
We're back with our conversation with retired Colonel Brad Lewis, Army chaplain, who's got a pretty good pulse on how we can best help and pray for men and women currently serving. For those that are watching on our Friday Live, we've lost something. We've lost video somehow, but we still have audio. We're grateful for that, and it's the most meaningful thing for the radio aspect of what we're doing on this break. Colonel, what are the best ways, what are the greatest needs in your observation of men and women serving today? Men and women that are serving today, what are some of the greatest needs that you see, and what are the best ways we can help?
So, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked it, because the men and women in uniform definitely need prayer at all times. How do you pray for them? Well, serving in the military even in a pristine environment is stressful. And now we're in a situation where we're involved in another war, and there's a lot of change going on in the military from the rules. The military is made up of rules. You have a rule for everything, and everything is changing. Now, there's always change. That's nothing new. But there's just some real tectonic shifts in the way that the military does business, not only on the battlefield, but back home in the offices and around the various bases, and just there's just all kinds of changes going on, and it is a stressful environment for the soldiers, for the sailors, airmen, Marines, and their families.
Right.
Not knowing from one day to the next how exactly things are going to pan out. I'll give you an example. So for the chaplain branch, there was a recent ruling came down from Secretary Hegseth that basically said the chaplains are going to take the rank off of their daily uniform, not all of their uniforms, but their daily uniform, and they're going to wear just the cross or their religious symbols, so that just to do something to help speak to what that chaplain is capable of doing. Well, what happened in the following that is that that was kind of an end result. This is what we want done. We're gonna change the insignia, how chaplains are recognized on a day-to-day basis, but there was no guidance as to how to make that happen. And so there's a lot of discussion going on amongst chaplains, and I talk to a lot of them all the time. How does this happen? Do we just take it off the middle of our chest and put it? Do we just leave it where it normally goes over on the side, or do we put it in the middle? Do we leave it on our hat? How does this actually pan out? And so that kind of thing, and the chaplain branch is not unique to the chaplains, but it's an example of these little changes that take place from an elevated position, and now they have to trickle down. And until they get paperwork that says, here's exactly how you implement that guidance, it gets very stressful. And so please pray that our soldiers and sailors, airmen, Marines will have the fortitude to be able to navigate that stress, because it plays out not just in their business, their work from day to day, but it plays out in their families. It plays out in how they treat people at the store. It plays out in how they think about themselves and how their life sort of continues on. So the stress is an amazing thing. We need a little bit of it to survive, but too much, too quick can really be a detriment. And I would be, you guys, I would be not much of a chaplain if I didn't say that. Please pray that our military, that the soldiers, that the men and women that wear the uniform would meet Jesus. It's just, the chaplains would be empowered, that day-to-day believers would be empowered. They don't even have to wear the cross on their chest, but to be able to say to their fellow soldiers, come to church with me, or you need something. Your life is falling apart. We all see it, and I've got an answer for you. And the people that they're talking to would hear them, and that would come to meet Jesus and would come to know that he's in control of an uncontrolled and crazy life.
Well, because the enemy is at work here dividing a country, and I am not in a military family. I have family members that are first responders, and I know what it feels like when the country is saying, we don't appreciate what sacrifice your family is making. Yeah. And so my heart goes out to these military families that are giving of a spouse, a mom or dad, and answering the call and taking care of things at home. And they're seeing the news of, we don't even want this, we don't want that, but they're making the sacrifice. And you said some amazing words earlier to Dave and I. You said, my wife has been at home keeping the traditions alive. And I appreciate you so much for what you said of, my wife's a real hero. And I know you've met these families, you've been with these families. Tell us how we can, walk the walk and support these families.
So like I said, truly, my wife is the hero of the day. She's, if I'm to call this, I've always told my kids, life is about the story. And so, go out and make a story and do something that's worth retelling. And I can't avoid the fact that in that story, Tina is the hero of my story. Traditions. I said she keeps traditions alive. She kept traditions alive through multiple deployments, time away, field exercises. I probably spent 6 years away from my family of the 25 last years, just away, gone for extended periods. And in all of that, my kids still had birthdays, and they still had Christmas and Thanksgiving. And even if I wasn't there, she would make a big Thanksgiving meal and they'd be thankful. She would wrap all of their gifts, she would put up we have these silly letters. She still uses them that say "Happy Birthday," and she hangs them from the roof. And it's something that no matter where we lived, no matter how many times we moved, she always put those dumb letters up, and it became
How
the
you knew it was
tradition.
your birthday.
Absolutely. And so it was just just an amazing thing to watch, even though most of the time I was watching it on FaceTime or something. And I wasn't able to be there, but I was able to be there. And I knew that my kids grew up with a sense of belonging, with a sense of tradition, that they appreciated what I was doing, that they appreciated what their mom was doing, and that they knew that they were part of the story that was going to be worth retelling.
That is fabulous. You're listening to KWFC Springfield, Missouri. We're enjoying a conversation with retired Colonel Brad Lewis. Colonel, it has been a joy to reconnect with you. Thank you for your service. I want you to know how much we appreciate you still serving. I know you carry the designation retired, but still very much serving your country and encouraging the church in our faith and how those things come together.
Yeah.
I'm sure trying. And I appreciate it, Dave. Thank you, Rebecca.
Well, we're going to stay in touch with you, and thank you. Enjoy the retired life and that new home.
I most certainly will. Thank you so much, and I look forward to hearing from you.
God bless you. Thank you, brother.
Take care, man.
Bye-bye. All right. I've just taken with his encouraging words to our prayer breakfast and his ongoing ministry.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still got the servant's heart. And by the way, if you have an event that you need that connection point, I know he'd be willing and would love the opportunity to serve. So thought that would be fitting on this kind of the tweener. We just celebrated our first patriotic holiday of the summer, America's 250. We're a part of that story, y'all. Mm-hmm. And I thought that would just be appropriate to have the Colonel on with us.
I love what he closed there with. Do something that's worth retelling.
I wrote that down. Let's see, why am I not hearing that? Okay. All right. Well, hey, we lost audio or video. Let's see if he's still in there with us. Let's see here. Let's see. Folks, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.